And now, authors, writers, books, and beyond. This program also streams live on the web at tspntv.com and can be...
Hi, my name is Kathy Boyd-Fellure, and I am your host for tonight's show of Authors, Writers, Books, and Beyond. For those of you just joining us, that's kind of a little name Sue and I came up with, the station owner here, because of the store that used to be downtown, Books and Beyond. So just a little inside fact. Anyway, this is my July show, and I have 3 wonderful guests. I think you are going to be absolutely delighted this evening. I'd like to start by introducing them. We're going to do a little chit-chat and get into some very interesting segments that I think you'll enjoy sharing, too. So, to my right is Reej Sargent.
Yes, ma'am.
And can you just say a little about yourself?
Well, right now I'm teaching still down in Ione Elementary, and about 1.5 years ago, Eddie and I started a new project, and we're still delving into that, and we'll hopefully be able to share some of that with you tonight.
Thank you. I'm excited. And on my left, Dr. Do you go by Tony or Anthony?
Doesn't matter, Anthony or Tony.
Guidon, and he is the author of, do you want to show them? Just hold it up for this camera here. A Plain Life, and you're going to find out more why it's spelled Plane. And can you tell a little bit about yourself?
Well, in 1963, I started practicing medicine in Ione. And in 64, I bought an airplane and started flying around Ione and Amador County. And since then, I've owned about 7 airplanes, and I've flown all over California and started most of Nevada, and spurred me into aviation, which spurred me into talking about it on paper. And the book is about my experiences and the people that I've met during my life in aviation.
So it's a book of passion, isn't it?
The passion.
Yeah. Thank you. And on the left also is Eddy Walsh. I'll let you describe yourself because I know Eddie a certain way.
Well, you probably know me because I, work at a local credit union. And
yes.
Right, so I see you
A lot.
But then, sort of on the side, do some freelance video production with Reej and some other folks in the community. So having fun doing that.
And you've done this for how long now?
Unceremoniously for about 10 years, but Reej and I have been doing it for a couple or 3 years with local Andrea Bonham and Pride of Ione and a bunch of cool stuff going on.
He's being
modest.
Immeasurably modest.
We can get into that later.
He's
Reej cracks me
very,
up.
very talented young man, yes.
Well, I'm going to tell everybody out there in TV land, I also knew Eddie through my 2 youngest kids because he used to do board game night with them. With Matt and Jenny.
Oh.
Yeah. People in town thought Eddie and Matthew were brothers.
Right.
Oh, how interesting.
Or the same person.
Or the same person.
I got that a couple times.
Which is interesting because Matthew is not blue-eyed.
Right. I don't think we look alike, but everyone else does.
Well, I have seen him with a beard, and I don't know.
Okay.
But that's how I found out about him because someone thought he was my son. And then I just found out, I live actually in the Mullally house. That's the house we bought.
Yeah.
So there's a connection there,
Yeah.
too.
Right. My grandmother used to live in the house where you live now.
And actually, Charlene Mullally was the first person I met in town. She had her little florist shop. She was my first friend.
Wow,
Oh, that's cool.
these are all, this table knows every name you're mentioning. It's wonderful.
As Eddie was setting everything up, I'm putting together, this is Corella's sister and Corella's dad. And so it's almost like where I grew up in Fair Oaks was small town. Yeah, so that was just kind of lovely to find your interconnections, and it keeps going. You could keep going. But, life. I'm going to start with Reej and have her tell you a little bit more. Our first section's kind of just a little intro where you get to know them, so you'll come back where each segment you'll get to know each one of them separately a lot better, and Eddie has a little clip for you.
Well, it was very interesting because, as my father will attest, I started out a number of years ago as an actress, and was most people are not, of course, and graduated from the American Academy of Dramatic Art West. I was in the first graduating class out here in California, and I worked and continued to work. It was wonderful, and then I got married. My husband works in the film industry, and when Joe was born, Apparently somebody has to stay home all day with a baby. Who knew, And so it meant me. So I withdrew from SAG and got my teaching credential and raised Joe. And about a year and a half ago, I got my SAG card, activated my SAG card again, and sort of delved back into that a little bit. And then just decided, I just felt that there was a way that you could make what can seem to be unreadable and unmanageable and tomes of words from classical literature. There had to be a way to make it accessible to young people. I believe that. And that was what Eddy and I came up with, and we delved a little bit into the authors of some of the book. Started out with Alice in Wonderland. I'm a huge Lewis Carroll fan, and we talked about the author, and then we sort of stripped away some of the things that seemed overwhelming and intimidating about some of this classical literature, and sort of broke it down a little bit into more manageable and relatable stories. The best example I give is Eddy and I talked about Hamlet, and I said, you can look at it as Hamlet, but also if you tell kids, look, this is a guy who was a teenager, whose dad just died, he doesn't like the guy his mom's married to, and he thinks his girlfriend's cheating on him. I mean, there's your universe, and that's it. Yeah. So we've done that now with about 10 titles. We're very, very proud of the work. We have a website. We're on, it looks like we'll be on Amazon. These videos will be available on Amazon within about next week, but we're at Teachers Pay Teachers, and we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. It's been very, very exciting. Wonderful. Very exciting. And I thought about you today because I thought poor Kathy is expecting an author, and all I do is talk about other people's work. So.
I love what you're doing. It's actually very needed.
I'm very excited about it. And Eddy has just been an amazing, he's a very talented filmmaker. So he's made it all work beautifully. So hopefully you'll have a chance to see a little bit of it. So.
You want to add to any of that?
Oh, well, no, Reej just cracks me up. Reej is very easy to please. I always joke I could come out with a blank piece of paper and Reej would go, oh my God,
Eddie, you're wonderful.
Amazing.
You're just wonderful,
so cool.
Eddie.
It's been really, really fun, and it just kind of happened just sort of almost randomly. I got a text from Reej saying, hey, I want to do these videos, and can you help me? And then I watched one of her preliminary stuff, and then we kind of went from there. So it's been fun. It's been really fun. So.
He's being very polite because he watched me stand in front of a smart board and point and say this and this. And he said, I think we can do something a little different. Thank God. So very, very talented. It's been wonderful. It's just been terrific.
Together are fireworks.
It's been a ball.
My favorite is her husband was helping us out for the very first one, and he takes me aside when they were getting ready, and he says, I hope you know what you're getting into with Reej. And I said, don't worry.
my other husband, Eddy's my husband when Jerry's away on film. Okay. So we got these two husbands, and they're both, but they do get along, exactly. So it's been terrific, and we've had a lot of real good positive feedback on it.
We're going to be showing you, just so you know, the clips at the beginning of the next segment, which I think you'll enjoy.
Great.
And I'm going to go back to Dr. Guidon. You were sharing some fascinating, which was just your everyday life info when we were out in the lounge before the show, especially about the Hindenburg.
Well, I was told later in life that probably wasn't the Hindenburg.
Oh, you think so?
Well, no, I spoke with someone. He was reading part of the book, and he said that was probably a military, a Navy dirigible.
Oh.
I said, well, I can remember, because I'm not too stupid, seeing that great big X on the back of the Hindenburg. And I don't think the United States Navy would put a swastika on there.
I don't think so.
Dirigible. So I'm pretty sure it was the Hindenburg.
And what year was that?
That was May 1937. And I was 8 years old. And
you're a young chap.
From that point on, my interest in aviation just went logarithmically high. And when I became a fairly decent college student, I was working at San Jose State, and they had a program there called the Flying 20, which was 20 members belonged to this flight group because they only had one airplane at Reed Hillview Airport. And I said, well, I'd like to join. And the director said, well, yeah, are you going to be here 3 years from now? Because there's about a 2 to 3 year waiting period. I said, the heck with you. So I went out to Reed Hillview Airport, and a little Chinese fellow by the name of Frank Lowe had a little private flying club with 2 little Aranca airplanes, and for $5 an hour, you got the instructor, and for $3 an hour, you got the airplane.
Jeez.
But you had to put the gas in.
Oh, darn.
Which is probably about $1 again.
While I was at San Jose State in 1957, I got my flying license and graduated in '58. And from then on, it was med school and medical practice in Ione, and private aircraft and private flying. And like I say, it was all uphill. But during 1944 and 45, a lot of GIs were getting out of the Army and the Air Force and the Navy. And one of our locals in Moscow, Pennsylvania, where her mother graduated high school, a nice young fellow named Curran. And Paul stopped me one day and he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Nothing." He said, "Well, jump in." So I got in his pickup and he took me up to Daleville Airport, and to cut it short, gave me my first airplane ride in a little airplane that he was a bulky man and I fit in.
With him. Don't go away, TV people, because we're going to go off here for a minute. We're going to pick right up where you left
Good
off.
enough.
Because this is fascinating. So come back and join us.